Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. All right, here we go. Final hour on this Thursday morning. Thanks for hanging out with us and joining in on the conversation here. Let's kick off this hour. We're going to switch gears and chat a little. Well, let's chat a little football here this morning, just because we're getting closer to training camp, and CBS Sports had a piece up here, a little fun one. Which teams have their quarterbacks kind of best set up for success? Green Bay's not in the top 10. In fact, Green Bay, according to them, now they have a weighted system and they figured it all. I wish they would have done explaining the grades a little bit more for like Green Bay.
Yeah, for Green Bay.
I wish they would have done that. Just the only mention they talk about was Matt LaFleur versus Kellen Moore, which whatever. But they've got Green Bay at 13 in the tier 3 above average teams. These are the teams ahead of Green Bay. Atlanta at 12. Minnesota at 11, Chargers 10, Bengals 9, Chiefs 8, Bills 7, Jaguars 6, San Francisco 5, Cowboys 4, Lions 3, Bears 2, Rams 1. There's some teams in there that are ahead of them. I don't know if I would necessarily put above Green Bay. I get some of the points. But the only thing they really kind of mention about Green Bay here, though, is, let me bring it up, that this writer said. Here we go. We had 2 more ties in the next 2 spots. The Saints and Packers got to their ranking in different ways, with Green Bay's edge at play caller, Matt LaFleur versus Kellen Moore, making up for the New Orleans advantage along the offensive line. While we gave the same grades to each of their pass-catching and running back rooms, the Falcons' elite running back grade for Bijan and Brian Robinson making up for the disadvantage in the pass-catcher department, where the Falcons are much thinner than the Vikings. So really, okay, is Jordan Love set up better to succeed than Atlanta?
So, maybe. I think we have better depth at the receiver room, but they have Bijan Robinson.
But we have Tucker Kraft, too. And I know they got Kyle Pitts, which maybe is a wash.
I think Tucker Kraft's better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think Drake London's better than receivers we have.
You think Drake London's better than?
I think Christian Watson, I do.
Okay.
Now, we have better depth, but they have far and away the better running back.
What, play caller? Kevin Stefanski?
So maybe I would put the Packers a little bit above the Falcons just for that fact.
Mm-hmm.
I think LaFleur is better. The Vikings, deep receiving room. We have the better running game, though, and the better quarterback, but quarterback doesn't matter in this scenario.
Offensive line?
See, the hard part is, and I heard you talking about this yesterday, we don't know about the offensive line.
Yeah.
So it's going to be so, this is all skewed because the Packers could have the best offensive line or one of the worst.
Mm-hmm.
So if they end up having the best, I'd take them over the Falcons. I'd take them over the Vikings.
The thing is, with the Falcons and the Vikings, they've got quarterback questions.
Yeah.
So it's like...
They do. The problem is it's not about quarterbacks.
That's right. But so if you did factor in quarterbacks, then maybe Green Bay would be higher.
If we didn't factor in quarterbacks, Packers 8, maybe.
Yeah.
How are the Bears 2?
My guess is...
I read a little bit. He said because of their depth at the receiving room.
Hey, come on now.
Thank you. What are we doing?
Come on now.
They have unproven commodities.
I'll give them tight end depth. I'll give them the tight end depth. You got Cole Kmet, and you got the rookie from last year. Was it? I just blanked on his name.
Colson Loveland.
Thank you. Running backs.
I'd take Josh Jacobs over any running back they have. DeAndre Swift they have.
I will say they have a better offensive line. I'd give Chicago the offensive line. But, I mean, Really? Running wide receiver depth?
Yeah, you go to receiver. Rome Odunze and Christian
Luther
Watson,
and then
very
you got
similar.
Yeah, and then Luther Burden, which I think he could be a good put. I mean, Jane Reed and
Matthew Golden, very similar.
Yeah.
The Bears should not be too. Is this guy a Bears fan? Like
that one does surprise me on that. But, Rams, I could see definitely number one.
Yes.
I can see that. Heck, I mean, the Lions, you look at their playmakers. I think they have a little question mark on offensive line depth.
A little bit.
And if you're going to factor in play caller, they got a new one, which is an unknown, which you'd think would take them down a notch.
Maybe a little bit. The problem is, again, I think this is the same with the Falcons. When you have one of the best running backs in the NFL that can pass catch and run, it adds a new dimension to your offense. And
you got a quarterback that's not going to do really a whole lot to lose the game for you, if you know what I mean. Dallas, I was a little surprised that they gave high remarks to Brian Schottenheimer. I get it. They put up a lot of points last year, and he did surprise me.
They've been drafting offensive linemen for like the past 8 years.
Yeah.
So I think that helps.
But, and they got Pickens and they got CeeDee Lamb and, but Bengals surprised me that they put up 9 because I feel like they can't protect.
Well, the Niners at 5, they have no receivers. They signed Mike Evans.
Yeah.
That's it.
Ayuk's out. They got Kittle and McCaffrey if they could stay healthy. But I think Kittle's going to be missing a big chunk of the season. So, I don't.
That surprises me. The Jags, I guess, at 6, but they lost ETN or HN, whatever his name is. You've got,
Jacksonville at 6 is really surprising.
Brian Thomas Jr., but Jacksonville's not 6 in my book.
No.
The Bills have DJ Moore. Period.
Yeah.
James Cook, maybe. Like, the Bills, I personally would take the Packers above the Bills because their offensive line's not great. They only have DJ Moore. James Cook, probably better than Josh Jacobs, but the running back doesn't make a whole offense when your line's not as... The line's probably comparable with the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they have a better play caller, but I'd take Matt LaFleur.
Yeah.
Over their head coach. I forget his name.
Joe Brady.
First-time
head coach now, too. Yeah, and the Bengals one, too. Like, I'd take LaFleur over Zach Taylor. I'm sorry.
I would, too, but I think the combination of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins
they must have...
But at the same time, their offensive line is one of the worst in the NFL.
Right. That's the thing. Is I don't... Yeah.
This is confusing, again, because you look at the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
They have Ladd McConkey and nobody else in that receiving room. They've got an okay line when Joel
They've
invested
a lot of,
Yeah, but not really a run game. I mean, Amarian Hampton is unproven, so why are they at 10?
I feel like this is very inconsistent in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
Like, they make the argument for one, but then it kind of goes against it in another tier. Yeah, it's confusing to me.
And the Chiefs, I feel like that's probably a good spot for the Chiefs just because their receivers are unproven. Their offensive line's not great, but they got a good running back.
And Andy Reid.
Andy Reid,
I think that's a big part of it, too. I was actually a little surprised they had Philly at 16.
The Broncos are pretty low, too. They just got Jalen Waddle, who's going to add a new element to that offense.
Yep. I thought Philly with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, they're always solid up front on the offensive line. And I know they had offensive coordinator issue, and they got a new play caller coming in from Green Bay. But I was a little surprised they were that. Yeah, I don't know if I like this whole list, to be honest with you.
I'm not on board with this list.
I'm not either. The fact that the Patriots are 18 and they just went to the Super Bowl with some of their offense.
And then they added offensive pieces.
Yeah. So I don't, I'm not all about this one.
Well, in the Raiders, if you just take out the quarterback, have Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers, they've got one receiver, Omar Cooper Jr., I believe, who they drafted. So they're kind of set up for success, too.
And they got actually 2 first-round tight ends.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
As their backup.
Mayer.
Yeah.
And there's the Dolphins who have nobody.
Hey, let's give him it's a quarterback. That's it. But he has got nobody around him except for
Tutu Atwell.
Yeah. And they re-signed their running back.
That's true. They still have A-Chain.
Yep. But after that, it might be I'm rooting for.
Yeah.
If there was another team to root for, I'm kind of looking at like Miami and Pittsburgh, just because I got nothing against Jeff Hafley. Malik Willis helped out Green Bay.
Yeah.
You know, obviously the guy running Miami now is a Green Bay guy, John Eric Sullivan. As long as it doesn't hurt Green Bay, I'm rooting for those teams to do well. Pittsburgh's a little bit different because it's the last run with Rodgers, but Mike McCarthy's there and a boatload of other former Packers. So, I hope Malik Willis does well. I do. I really do, because I think he saved Green Bay quite a bit.
Yeah.
And he was so fun to watch. And,
And everybody's going to say he got paid, but you still want to prove it again so that he can play longer. Because if he has a bad year, they're going to draft a quarterback. And then he's in the same spot he was in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. So, I hope he lights it up.
I do too. All right. Let's. By the way, let me throw out an informal poll to all of our wonderful listeners out there. I'm thinking about doing a massive fantasy football league this year, maybe multiple. So if we get a lot of people that want to join in, just hit me up with a yay. Be free to join in, and we'll give away prizes and stuff with that. So do you play fantasy football?
I do.
See, I don't.
Okay.
I used to a lot. And the reason I stopped is for my own self-stress levels. Because I don't want to get to a point
where you're cheering for the other team. Is that what you're going to say?
Yes. I don't want to get to the point where I'm cheering for, I'll use this example, Calvin Johnson to go off against Green Bay one time. Or, maybe in this case, it's like a Justin Jefferson. Like, I can't do that. And I enjoyed it. It got a little too competitive for me, and then I get to the mixed emotions. So that's, like, I enjoy following it and watching it. Like, I'm going to help Hudson do his first one this year. But that's where I was at. Like, I can't do that. Yeah.
See, I counter that by benching them when they play the Packers.
So you would bench Justin Jefferson?
I did last year.
Going up against Green Bay?
I did.
You would sacrifice?
Both games.
You would sacrifice your fantasy football team for that?
I'm back-to-back championships. I sacrificed week. I think that was like 4.
Wow.
I did.
Look at you.
I did. I lost both weeks.
Good for the team.
But I won the championship.
All right.
So maybe some good vibes.
Wow. Okay. Hey, I think you've got more cojones than a lot of people probably would at that point. That's all right.
See, okay, but I will say, if it was like a Jahmyr Gibbs, I'm not going to bench him.
Yeah.
If it's a Bijan Robinson, I'm not going to bench him. I'll cheer against them, but I'm not going to bench them. But a wide receiver, I'll always bench.
Okay. All right. I still
just because you can, in terms of fantasy football, there's so many receivers. Mm-hmm. Like, I can find a receiver that I can play in 1 week.
What leagues do you usually use? Because this is the thing I have to figure out now too. Because I want to find one that's going to be easy for listeners to do. And if we get a lot, we'll do multiple leagues. I'm not going to do a league that has 32 teams. That's ridiculous. But
you get down to drafting.
Yeah. Which one's so like? Do you use ESPN? Yahoo. Is Yahoo like the most? Was there one Sleeper? I think
Sleeper. I use that one. So I had. We did one at Memorial for ESPN. Mm-hmm. On Sleeper, I had a friend's one, and then my family one's on Yahoo. Yahoo's the best, in my opinion.
You like Yahoo?
It's the easiest.
Okay.
Sleeper's second. I do not like ESPN.
Okay.
It's very complicated.
Does Yahoo have like an easy app to do it on?
Yeah.
Like I know Sleeper
Yahoo
does.
Fantasy. Yeah.
Okay.
They have an app for it.
Okay.
So.
I think Sleeper was the last one I did.
Okay.
So I'm out of the game on that.
Yeah.
What app to use. So I just want to make it easy for listeners to do.
Sleeper's fine, but I like Yahoo best.
Okay. Well, how about the rest of you? If you've got one, let me know, because then we'll kind of maybe go off that on the majority. So we'll have some fun with this one. We'll have to get you in on it.
Yeah. I'm in.
All right. I might have to recruit somebody else to run it though, so I don't get tempted to get. I can't. I always wanted to be a general manager as a kid.
Yeah.
And I remember when fantasy sports first started. That's when I was a kid. And Yahoo, that was all about, like, I was basketball, baseball. I did golf.
Really?
Football. Yeah. Like, I wanted to be a general manager as a kid. Now I don't. It's fun to talk about, but like,
Yeah. I think the most fun I've ever had in fantasy is we did college football. The year Joe Burrow was in there. The last year they did college football on Yahoo, and I picked him up off waivers because nobody knew who he was. Won the tournament with Jonathan Taylor.
Nice. Speaking of college football, I see Yahoo this morning. I think it was this morning. They're doing college football fantasy.
Again?
Yeah.
Let's go. They're bringing it back.
Yep.
There you go.
I saw somebody tweet it this morning. So let me see if I can find that. Yep, fantasy football is going back to school. College fantasy football is now on Yahoo. Get started today. So
there you go.
Mm-hmm. All right. Drafts open August 3rd. Get going.
No Badgers. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Sorry. Looks like a lot of people are saying Yahoo. So looks like a lot of people are picking Yahoo for that. So, all right, let's take a quick break. Plenty more to get to coming up after these few words. Want to go back to baseball here for a minute because something was announced yesterday. Justin Verlander, this is going to be his final year in Major League Baseball. He's going to be at the All-Star Game. He's the commissioner's pick, which, I mean, commissioners have been doing those kind of picks and such. But when you look at Verlander, when he does call it a career, is it kind of the end of an era of certain pitchers and such? And I kind of go to the 300 win benchmark for starting pitchers because he's the closest active person. He's got 266 wins. He's not going to get the 300 mark. The next closest is Max Scherzer, who's at 222. All right, these guys are in their 40s. Unless baseball changes their rules in awarding wins and with starters, I don't know if we'll ever see another pitcher hit 300 wins. I mean, you've got Randy Johnson has 303. Tom Glavine was 305. Those are the the most recent modern era type of players. And I think you could put Verlander in that. I guess Jamie Moyer's got 269, but he also pitched for 25 flipping seasons. So Verlander to me is like one of the last old school pitchers. Like, I don't know how many more starting pitchers we're going to see that's going to pitch. Like, he's 43 years old.
Yeah.
How many are we going to see starters go into their early 40s as a starter in Major League Baseball? Because, okay, Miz, for example, we don't know how that's going to play out, right? But I think if you were an odds maker, you're probably saying, I don't think he's going to pitch into his 40s. Talking straight up starter, not transitioning into a bullpen or, a starter or a closer type of role. So I think this is kind of like when Verlander's calling it and whenever Max Scherzer calls it, that's kind of the end of an era of maybe old school starting pitchers.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much. I mean, like you said, with the velocity that the MLB throws with nowadays, the arms aren't going to hold up.
Yeah.
And so, like, Miz won't throw until he's 40. He may get to 35, but I don't see many of these pitchers throwing into their late 30s. So Garrett Cole may be the last one, but he just had Tommy John.
Yeah.
So I think it's Verlander and Max Scherzer, and then you come into the era of we're going to pitch till we're 34, and then we're done.
There's one thing. So you have that list on there, too. You want to talk about another thing that has really kind of gone by the wayside, the complete games. That CG category right there. So Verlander's got 26 complete games. That's not even and I get it, that baseball's got a long history, okay? I am scrolling through the 800s and he's still not even in there for 26. Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see what number he shows up. Okay, I have gone through, it doesn't even show up through 1,000 according to Baseball Reference for complete games. And I get it. There's a lot of years, and this goes way back. So I probably have to do a little bit more of the modern era. But like Cy Young, 749 complete games. I mean that's the stuff that's not going to happen anymore, right? I mean that's not going to happen. I'm trying to find like Warren Spahn, okay, 50s. He had 382 complete games, for crying out loud. The pitching has changed so much throughout its history. We talk about different changes in sports, like football, for example, right? When football first started, it was run. Nobody passed. You don't throw a football. It was run. Now it's passing. Basketball, the 3-point shot, how much that changed. You look at pitching over the years, and it's just kind of it's a weird change where it was guys would just go out there and throw so much heat and gas, and now it's like throw harder, but you don't last as long anymore.
Well, and Cy Young averaged about 122 pitches per game. And
yeah.
Dylan Cease yesterday was 3 outs from a no-hitter. 111 pitches got pulled, and we're criticizing him for leaving his pitcher in at 111 pitches. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where this goes wrong, because I remember even Miz's complete game shutout against the Phillies. They were debating pulling him with like 88 pitches. Nowadays, that's a lot. Back then, we got 3 innings left in us, right? So I think that's changed a little bit, where we got to be so careful with these guys now and their pitch count and monitor them so closely. Like 122 pitches is insane every 5 days. And he may have pitched less than every 5 days. I don't know how many times Cy Young pitched, but that's incredible.
Let me just see. Okay, so this is what I was kind of curious about. How hard did Cy Young throw? Yeah. We don't know, right? I mean, that was back then. But so because I know they tried doing it with Nolan Ryan. Remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
So while it says there's no official radar gun measurement because he played from 1890 to 1911, historians and baseball analysts generally estimate his fastball velocity to have been in the upper 80s to low 90s, likely peaking around 85 to 90. So I would imagine that's still fast, but today's standard, that doesn't get it done.
No.
Right? So I would imagine that probably helped his career where he could stay in games longer. He's not putting as much torque. He's not throwing 100 miles per hour 50 times in a game. So that, I would imagine, would help prolong his career that way.
I think a little bit, but also Justin Verlander in his career has thrown 57,000 pitches. Cy Young's thrown 99,000. That's 42,000 more pitches. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's just velocity. I just think, in my generation, we like to say built different. They were just built different back then.
And I think a lot, too, for those guys, they probably weren't practicing pitching as much, working out, right? We talk about that a lot. And because, back in those generations, you don't hear a whole lot about guys missing time. The 60s Packers. We don't hear, football players back then with ACLs, right? We don't hear that stuff. And it's not to say that didn't happen, but what they do in the offseason, they were car salesmen. They were doing all this. They weren't constantly working out. So are they putting more strain on their bodies and essentially kind of weakening them at the same point too? Overuse a little bit.
Well, this is a quote. I don't know by who, but it's during Young's time, pitchers were told not to pitch with max effort until there were runners in scoring position because the threat of a home run was so minuscule.
I suppose polo grounds were huge. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then you don't have to throw that fast because you're getting outs. And so I think that's also where nowadays, Miz threw one. I was at the game, 103 right down the middle, and they hit it out. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a little bit of it too.
Yeah, it says right here, in Young's prime, it was unusual to throw hard often. A pitcher would choose his spots to bear down. Christy Mathewson called it pitching in a pinch. Oh, okay, so there's a lot of factors into that. All right. Man, I'm surprised nobody has kind of said, well, you got to have, an asterisk next to this and all that because it's so, that's going to.
Well, look at that Woodruff. Right now he's doing what they did. He's pitching to contact. He's hitting his spots. He's throwing 85. He's getting outs.
Yeah. It's almost Greg Maddux-esque.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Just got to be a smart pitcher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I actually heard it said, Brandon Woodruff is a pitcher. Jacob Mizorowski is more of a thrower.
I can see that. I like that.
Because he calculates his spots, he hits his edges. Mm-hmm. Whereas Miz will do that this year. He's a lot more of a pitcher this year.
Yep.
But he throws 103, so you can miss every once in a while.
Like Greg Maddux is a pitcher because he never overthrew everybody, but he was so accurate. It was ridiculous. Like it just pinpoint accuracy. It's a good conversation to have, kind of going back on that. But yeah, I think, Verlander's going to be a Hall of Famer. There's no question about it. It's just, with him and Scherzer, I'm assuming Scherzer's going to be done here soon too. You would think.
Yeah.
You would think. But, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the end of an era after that. So, All right, let's take a quick break. Back with more after these few words. Since we were just talking a little baseball, I just saw this nugget coming up with pitching. So, like last night, Jared Jones with the Pirates was pulled when he had a perfect game going through 6 innings, but was pulled because he had a strict pitch count and elbow injury management. The combined perfect bid ended in the 7th. But Codify on Twitter posted MLB pitchers leaving with a perfect game through 6 or more innings, and they start from 1901. Let's just say from 1901 through 2015, it happened 0 times. 2016, it happened once. 2022 is twice. 2026, this year, twice, July 5th and July 8th. This year. So, yeah.
Don't understand.
I will say that, like, I would hate to be the manager that has to tell the pitcher, hey, we got to pull you.
Yeah.
I would hate to be that person that has to do that.
The sick feeling a pitcher must get when he goes to the dugout and that first guy gets on.
Yeah.
It's got to be like the other day, it was against the Rockies.
Mm-hmm.
The pitcher goes to the dugout. The very first 4 pitches were a walk. Perfect game's over. Next pitch, a hit. No hitter's over. The very next pitch, a 3-run home run.
Yeah.
Shutout's over. And it was like, the pitcher was like, I threw a perfect game.
Mm-hmm. That's where it stinks for pitchers when they go out there and like starters and they throw those great games and just to see it all crumble down. Unless it's your team doing it to them.
That's true.
Because I think, wasn't it, who was the Cardinals pitcher that just pitched the other day? But earlier in the season, he pitched against the Brewers. He had like 7 innings of like no hit ball. And then the Brewers just, like that 1 inning and it all crumbled down with him. Yeah, who was it?
Dobbins.
Not Dobbin. I think it was game 1 of that series. Dustin May. Yeah. I was like, oh gosh, that's gotta be like the worst, one of the worst feelings. Well, speaking of pitching, Logan Henderson's going to be on the mound today for the Brewers. 6:45 first pitch. Brewers wrap up this series, and before heading into the All-Star break, they've got a 3-game series with the Pirates coming here too. So, can the Brewers maybe hit 60 wins before the All-Star break? What is the most wins the Brewers have before the All-Star break? That would have to be, I got to imagine that would be it. If they get 60? Because they're on pace, I think, for 100 or 101. It was 101 the other day, which would be a franchise record. 56.
Last year?
Last year.
Wait, did they already break it? No, they already broke it.
They already broke
58.
it. Okay.
Yeah. Which means we need to win 1 more, and then we're going to win 100 games.
That's right. Mm-hmm. You think they're going to get 100 now?
I do.
I do too.
I do. Pretty confident in that.
Yeah.
Which is insane to think about.
Yeah. Yep. And I we'll see how the rest of the year plays out, but I think it's mind-boggling to the other teams how, like, they're just probably, how does this team continue to do it? Why do they continue to get underestimated? Is it Pat Murphy? I think a lot of it is just philosophy. I think coaching does come into it a lot. Chris Hook and what he's been doing is, if I'd be worried about losing Chris Hook, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yep.
If a team comes in that just like, I don't know if you'd want to be a manager or what the rules would be. Say, hey, we'll give you this boatload of cash and come over. Because look at how many guys they've kind of moved on and then bringing in younger guys, and they've turned these guys into potential all-stars, or like Quinn Priester last year winning double-digit games. Kyle Harrison we were talking about. Now you look at Shane Drone and Brandon Sproat, and heck, the difference in Jacob Mizorowski in a year.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's not even walking anybody anymore. Yep. And he hasn't allowed an extra base hit in like forever, it feels like. Pat Murphy and Chris Hook, to the order of importance, I'd go Pat Murphy and Chris Hook right behind him. If you can keep those two, then I think you're still in contention for a while.
It seems like the Brewers always get the best out of the players that they have. Mm-hmm. And I say that because, again, we traded Devin Williams. He imploded. We trade Freddie Peralta. He's not been great this year. And so I think it's more than we just have a good team around them. I think it's they know how to push the right buttons on these players.
How much do you think, though, too, is, everybody uses this as a negative, but for some of these players, is it a positive to be in a smaller market, though, too?
I think so. Devin Williams couldn't handle it.
No.
I firmly believe he couldn't handle it. And so...
Because I feel like from a fan base, when you go to those games in Milwaukee, it could be wrong, but I don't feel like it's going to turn on you on a dime like some fan bases.
Like the Mets.
Yeah, right. And maybe a little less media pressure. It's a little bit more of a relaxed environment and all that stuff. We tend to look at small market for some people like, well, that's a negative because they don't have money. But from a performance standpoint, from a player, could that actually help performances for these players? Because you mentioned Devin Williams. I don't know if that's the issue with Freddie Peralta with the Mets this year, but we've seen other examples of this. Yeah, I remember Zach Greinke back in the day kind of talked about not wanting to be in a big market.
Yeah.
And just because from his personality, just didn't want to do that. So
I also think the expectations are different. Like if we look at what Freddie Peralta was supposed to do for the Brewers last year, it was 5 or 6 innings, 2 or less runs, and we'd win the game. Mm-hmm. But the Mets want him to go 6 or 7 innings and no earned runs. And I think the expectation is like he doesn't do that, well, then all of a sudden he's not their number one pitcher. Well, guys, he really wasn't a number one in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And so we play great defense, we steal hits, and we score runs. And you got to score runs with a pitcher like Freddie Peralta.
Yeah.
And he pitches better with the lead, which the Mets can't get this year. But I think the expectation changes a little bit.
Would Freddie Peralta be a better pitcher with the Brewers if he was with the Brewers right this year? Probably.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? He'd probably still only go 5, but maybe he fits that style better. You don't think about it for baseball, but maybe that's the case here.
The Brewers turned Shane Drone into Freddie Peralta.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. Mm-hmm. And he's not a number one, but he gets the job done.
And their ability to say, go start this game and then go to the bullpen and then go start this game and then go to the bullpen. I mean, the versatility that a lot of, I'm talking Chad Patrick kind of specifically with this. I don't know. It's interesting because you look at that, and then I think this was from Colin Cowherd. I'd seen this video clip. I don't know how old it was, but he was talking about Jordan Love and the Packers quarterback. Like there's so much pressure on being the Packers quarterback because of, maybe like a market size, but also in Green Bay. And honestly, that's where I feel like maybe it gets to the heads of a Favre or a Rodgers, because if you're the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers and you're a good quarterback, you're kind of a god.
Yep.
I mean, you're looked upon as like, okay, you're the greatest thing in this state. If you're the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers and you're going to lead us to Super Bowls or potential play, you are on a pedestal, and that's a lot of pressure. I mean, you could walk around Green Bay and people are going to bow down to you, essentially. Whereas, that probably feeds into the ego a little bit after time.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it kind of just feeds into it, and it gets into your head a little bit, because I think everybody looks back at the Rodgers era, it's like, what the heck happened? From where does this happen? You get told for how many years you're the greatest thing, you're the best, people love you, you do that. So you look on that side, but then from a Brewers perspective, or you hear from Giannis.
Yeah.
What is he scared of? he's scared of not having that privacy like he did in Milwaukee.
Not being the hero.
Right. And he's going to go to a bigger city. He's not going to have that.
No.
He's not going to be able to go down to the beach and be by himself in Miami. It's just not. It's not going to happen. So, I mean, there's positives and negatives to this whole thing from playing in smaller markets where, hey, you're viewed like these Brewers players, we view them as like, oh my God, look at, these are, but if they go to a bigger market, there's more pressure and people don't really give a dang who you are at times.
Yeah. They'll blame you.
Yeah.
Like they're blaming Freddie Peralta. Mm-hmm. They'll blame Giannis if it doesn't work. But the Brewers are going to blame themselves. They're going to take accountability. And I think that's also another thing. Accountability with Pat Murphy is why this team's good.
Yeah. He somehow has figured out what I think not just coaches or managers, but maybe even like business bosses and leaders.
Yeah.
This unique ability to completely have his players' backs. Because I think if you would ask any player, they know he's got their backs and they love him. But he is not afraid to call you out either. And still have that respect from that player. Mm-hmm. It's a thin line, right? We've seen how many coaches not able to do it. We've probably had bosses at certain times where it's like, man, that guy's a jerk or whatever. He's figured out that fine balance somehow, it feels like. Because, yeah, he's called out Joey Ortiz. He's called out Sal Frelick.
Yeah.
He's called out Brandon Sproat this year. Mm-hmm. But in that same breath, he's going to be, I love that guy.
And he's starting his next time.
Mm-hmm. He's figured it out. Write a book. Pat Murphy needs to write a book on it so we can figure it out. All right, we got to take a break because we got to wrap it up with some picks. We'll be back after these few words. We got about 5 minutes left. Let's jump right into it. So we got a little bit of first World Cup. We got a game tonight. France going up against Morocco.
I'll take France.
I'm going to take France too. So all right, let's do some baseball picks here as we we got a good slate here for a Thursday. Atlanta versus Pittsburgh.
Atlanta.
I'm going to go Braves, too. Kansas City versus the Mets.
Kansas City.
Yankees and the Rays.
I'll go Rays.
I'm going to go Rays, too, for this one. Cubs and Baltimore.
Baltimore
to avoid the sweep.
Yep.
Right? Where are we at here? We've got Cleveland and Minnesota. Minnesota's been winning these games.
I'm going to go Cleveland.
Same here. I'm going to go Cleveland. Boston and the White Sox.
White Sox. Surprisingly.
Yep. A's, I keep saying A's. Athletics versus Detroit.
I'll go Detroit.
I'm going to go Detroit, too. Seattle versus Miami.
Seattle.
Seattle, too. Philadelphia, Cincinnati.
Phillies.
Angels, Rangers. Diamondbacks, Padres.
Diamondbacks.
Colorado versus Giants.
I'll go Colorado.
I'll go Giants. And then finally, Brewers and Cardinals. Logan Henderson.
I think the Brewers win.
I'll go Brew Crew, too. Taking 4 out of 5. That is a huge series.
It's a really good stretch of baseball.
Yeah, it is. So, all right. Yeah, Brandon Sproat's scheduled to get the start tomorrow for the Brew Crew. And then Saturday, Shane Drowan scheduled to get the start versus Bubba Chandler. And then Sunday...
Is it Skeens versus...
Sunday is Skeens versus Mizrahi. So that would mean both won't be in pitching the All-Star game then, right?
Nope. Ashcraft took...
that's right.
Right. Was it Jones? It may have been Jones. It was one of the Pittsburgh pitchers took a Skeens spot.
11:15 a.m. game on Sunday.
What are we doing?
And it's Miz versus Skeens. But, all right. Well, that should be that will draw some eyes, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. I just found out something. Our intern is a big Hallmark Christmas movie buff, and he's so excited that the new one that's coming out, the Bears are going to have a Christmas Hallmark movie. What is it called again? It is...
A Holiday Touchdown, A Bears Love Story.
Yeah.
Which is...
They're looking for actors, dude. So,
dude, I should get in on this.
You should. They're looking for extras. So, I'm
telling you, the Packers could market this movie so well.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were having fun during the break going through players' names, for sure.
Jordan Love, Carrington Valentine.
Yep. I mean, there's too much. Yeah. There's too much with this.
Why aren't we doing a Packers one? They're also like an iconic stadium. Like, what are we doing with the Bears? What are we trying to accomplish with a Bears movie?
I don't know. You could do like the small town love affair.
Isn't that Green Bay?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And we're actually going to stay in our stadium and in our city.
Yeah. Or maybe that's part of the thing where, the love story moves to Indiana and then you follow the love over there.
Let's just say they got a Christmas movie before a 3,000-yard passer. Or a 4,000-yard passer, sorry.
Ooh, hey. Whipped. Or snap, whatever the kids. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good burn, actually. That was a really good burn. But I didn't know. You said they made a Bills and a Chiefs. I didn't know this. I didn't
Chiefs
know this.
one was first.
So this is an annual thing now?
Yeah.
Are they going to go? So eventually you'd think the Packers won, and I'll probably have to watch it.
I'll definitely be watching that one.
It makes sense because they always do the NFL ornaments, and I used to. I have all the Packer ones, I think, but they haven't made a Packer one in a while.
The Bills one was just useless. Don't watch the Bills one. If you haven't watched it, don't watch the Bills one.
Is it a typical Hallmark Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just football themed in it?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Which makes it better.
Yeah.
To be honest. But
the thing I can't stand about sports movies or football movies, and I don't know if this is part of it, when I see somebody playing a quarterback and it looks like they've never thrown a football in their life.
yes.
There's
Yes.
movies like that.
Yes.
And that is the issue I have with the movie The Program. Everybody loves The Program. That quarterback doesn't look like he knows how to throw. Varsity Blues, at least Mox, and those guys look like they could chuck a pigskin.
Yeah.
But when you've got these movies where it's like, okay, you have obviously never thrown a ball in your life and you're playing quarterback and you're supposed to be a Heisman Trophy candidate. Shane Falco, Keanu Reeves can throw a football.
Yeah.
Some of these, no, they can't do that. So I just, no.
Just take 5 minutes in practice.